Ladies and gentlemen, let me now turn to Afghanistan, where Pakistan's policy appears to be undergoing a significant shift. For the past few years, Pakistan's approach towards Taliban was based on engagement and expectation that cooperation would address shared security concerns. That expectation has not materialized. The presence and operations of the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan from Afghan territory have fundamentally altered Pakistan's threat perception. What we are seeing now is a transition from strategic patience to strategic pressure. This shift is visible in several ways, such as increased cross-border security actions, tighter border controls and trade restrictions, and importantly, a change in political signaling. There is now a growing indication that Pakistan's tolerance for current status quo is diminishing. While regime change is not formally declared policy, there is a clear message. Legitimacy must be tied to behavior, particularly on counterterrorism. This raises important questions. If Pakistan moves towards a more coercive posture, what are the implications for Afghanistan's internal stability? And conversely, if Afghanistan remains unstable, what does that mean for Pakistan's security and economic outlook? The answer lies in what I would call the security development nexus. Instability in Afghanistan directly translates into disrupted trade, refugee pressures, and increased militancy along the border. At the same time, a stable Afghanistan represents a major economic opportunity for transit trade, regional connectivity, and development along the Western corridor. So Pakistan faces a dual challenge: how to apply pressure without triggering collapse, and how to support stability without legitimizing adverse behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, let me connect these two theaters, the Iran conflict and Afghanistan we are faced with. A prolonged US-Iran confrontation risks diverting international attention away from Afghanistan. It also creates space for non-state actors to exploit cross-border instability. In Pakistan, this means managing simultaneous pressures on two fronts. Western border insecurity linked to Afghanistan, regional volatility linked to Iran. This is why Pakistan's mediation role is so critical. Its credibility in one theater affects its leverage in the other. Let me conclude with a few forward-looking observations. First, Pakistan needs to institutionalize its diplomacy. Ad hoc mediation can only go so far. There is a need for structured, possibly multilateral frameworks that anchor its role more sustainably. Second, economic connectivity must be de-linked from political volatility. Trade routes, energy corridors, and development initiatives should not be perpetually hostage to security fluctuations. Third, on Afghanistan, Pakistan needs a coherent, balanced strategy, one that combines pressure with incentives and security objectives with development engagement. Finally, for development actors, the key is to focus on resilience and adaptability, such as supporting border communities, designing programs that can function on political uncertainty, and investing in connectivity that benefits the broader region. Let me end on this note. First, Pakistan today is navigating a very narrow strategic space. In the Iran conflict, it seeks to be a mediator. In Afghanistan, it is a stakeholder under pressure. And second, its success will depend on whether it can align diplomacy, security, and development into a single coherent framework rather than managing them as separate, competing